Hey there, it's your boy Foxy, back for more relationship stories. Am I wrong for telling my fiancé that if I see her friend again, I'm calling the cops? Plus update. Original post. Me, 29 male, and Erica, 27 female, dated for 2 years and have been engaged the last 4 months. After we got engaged, Erica moved into my house. I still pay the mortgage while she pays for utilities, groceries, and household items. After we get married, the plan is to put her on the house so she gets equity as well. Her friend Leah, 27 female, and her have been best friends since high school. I don't particularly like Leah, but have also been cordial as I know she's gonna be in my life. My issue is, Leah thinks of my home as hers. Couple examples. She always brings her boyfriend over and he's a sketchball. She talks to me in a very disrespectful way in my own house, like I'm a guest and she and Erica own it. One day I went out to my garage and some of my tools were missing. I checked my camera and Leah and her boyfriend were in my garage with Erica and took some tools with them. I asked Erica and she said they were just borrowing and would return them. I had to reach out multiple times for them to finally return the tools weeks later. I have a nice wine and liquor collection and I was working late one Friday. While working, I heard some clanking of bottles together. Erica wasn't home so I went out to see what was up. Leah was behind my bar. I asked what she was doing, and she said that Erica told her it was okay to borrow a bottle of wine for her party and that she would pay it back. I told her no, that wasn't all right, and to leave. I asked Erica about this, and she said, I don't remember telling Leah she could take a bottle, but I might have. I don't remember. I told her at this point I wasn't comfortable with Leah being in my house. Erica sorta understood, but also blew me off. Final straw came when I wanted to go hit some golf balls, and my clubs were missing. I freaked out because I golf regularly, and my clubs are my biggest investment. Went to check the camera again and Leah used my garage code and took the clubs. I blew up, called Erica and told her to get them back immediately. Erica said Leah had asked for the garage code to grab some clothes from her closet, and not my clubs. I threatened to call the police, but Erica stopped me. Leah kept telling us that her boyfriend needed them for a work thing. I got them back almost 4 days after they were taken, and they were dirty. At this point I sat Erica down and told her that if I see Leah in my house again then I'm calling the cops, no discussion. Erica got upset, saying that it's her best friend and that wasn't fair to do to her in our house. I said it's a pattern and since Erica's stuff isn't affected, she doesn't care. I said she can go over to Leah's if she wants to see her. She said she can't do this because Leah doesn't like her apartment and Leah's boyfriend is always there, which makes Erica uncomfortable. I'm now getting the silent treatment and getting called an idiot. But I don't think I'm doing anything wrong. Now for the top comments before reading the update. Do not put this woman on the deed to your home. Heck, don't marry her. You don't have a Leah problem, you have a fiancé problem. Time to move on, buddy, not the idiot. I agree. OP, open your eyes. Agreed, Erica is allowing this to happen. There are a lot of boundary issues that show as red flags. The fact that Leah has your code and lets herself in without letting anyone know is a problem. And you can truly see that Leah does not care one bit. She got outed multiple times on camera, got caught nicking a bottle of wine, and did not give a single crap. Leah does not respect the OP, plain and simple. And Erica is fully endorsing this behavior in their house that she does not own any part of. I'm starting to think Leah did, in fact, have Erica's permission to take that bottle. Erica just backpedaled and threw her friend under the bus when OP got upset. I wouldn't be surprised if Leah also thought she had permission to borrow the clubs. After all, we know Erica gave her the key code and gave permission to borrow the tools. Either way, neither of the ladies have boundaries. But this sounds like an Erica problem. Also, I would keep copies of the security footage, just in case, and change the garage code. Already have done these things, but thank you for the advice. I won't give Erica the new code, she has the clicker to get in and out, but I'm not comfortable giving her the code until this whole situation works itself out. If you can't trust your fiancé with your security code, you guys should see someone together before you get married, and have a lot of discussions on your future and how you both see things. Not wrong, but are you sure you want to marry this woman? She's either an idiot for letting her friend rob you both, or the two of them are in on something. Some second thoughts have definitely crept in, especially putting her name on the house. Just a tough situation because Erica doesn't have a ton of close friends. Now for the update. I want to thank you all for the kind words and comments. I knew after reading the comments that it was time to come to a resolution. I decided to drive home from work and talk with Erica. When I showed up, Leah's car was parked in the drive. I went inside and they were watching TV. I told Leah immediately to get out. She tried to argue, but I told her if she didn't then I'm calling the police. Erica tried to get pissy that I kicked her friend out, but I said I'm done talking about Leah because at this point, nothing is changing with that relationship. Sat Erica down and showed her this post. 20 minutes of reading later, I asked her what she thought, and she said, "Those people don't understand our relationship or Leah." I knew then that it was over. I asked her to hold out her hand and I took the ring off. She begged, saying she is sorry and she'll cut Leah off and whatnot. I told her I can't even trust her with the garage code. How am I supposed to trust her as my wife? She's locked herself in our room now while I'm in the kitchen packing up her things. I called her dad and mom, telling them about what has happened, and they were furious. Leah is apparently banned from their house and has been since high school. I didn't know this, but her parents said it's been like this since high school. They are coming this weekend to get Erica and the stuff. I couldn't be any happier than I am right now. A huge weight feels lifted off my shoulders. I felt like if I never made this post, I wouldn't have ever seen how messed up my life had become. Sincerely, thank you everyone. Can't wait to take my clubs out and play around now that I have more free time. Really excited to see what single life brings and can't thank you all enough again. So the two girls are codependent. Definitely time to leave. His ex chose what relationship was most important to her. I hope she is happy with her crappy friend. I almost couldn't believe that she said that we don't understand their relationship or Leah. The only person not understanding anything is she herself. You don't understand is what horrible people say to get away with bad behavior. They try to make the situation seem different. Nope, OP understood things perfectly. That is why he kicked her to the curb. That, and it's just how he or she is. A blatant attempt to rug sweep lousy behavior. I am glad he got out before Leah robbed him blind, while his supposed loving fiancé held the door for her on the way out. What stood out to me is that Erica didn't want to spend time at Leah's place because of her sketchy boyfriend, but she was fine letting the same sketchy boyfriend into OP's home to act like he owned the place, be directly disrespectful to OP in his own home, and steal his things. The fact that we later learn that Leah is banned from Erica's parents' home for the same behavior pattern that has been going on for years and years demonstrates that not only was Erica aware of the behavior, she was deliberately facilitating it and was gaslighting OP. No, I get it. Erica is literally possessed by Leah. So happy for OP on having gotten out. You know it was never meant to work anyway when you feel relieved after they've left. Yeah, the reveal that Leah is also banned for Erica's parents' house was, yikes. This problem is clearly much bigger than it seems in the first post, and it seemed like a pretty major issue in the first post. Now for the last story. Am I wrong for getting my boyfriend arrested? Plus update. Original post. I'll just get straight to it. I'm a college student and this is my last semester until medical school. I've never been able to get a loan, so I've worked 5.5 years to get this degree because I have to pay out of pocket, so it takes way longer. I've worked 2, sometimes 3 jobs at a time, and barely had a social life. For this upcoming semester, I reached my goal for tuition, so I quit one of my jobs so I could relax a bit. I was a server and bartender at 2 bars, and has an office job, so I always have cash hidden in my apartment in my closet in a box, and before the semester starts in a week or 2, I deposit it so I can pay my tuition. My boyfriend sometimes stays over while I'm there or when I'm not, and since I've been saving for this semester, he's the only one who's been over. I've never told him about the box, but he knows I have to pay for school. Well, yesterday night I get home to put money in the box because I was gonna deposit it today, and it's all gone. I freaked out and tore my apartment up, thinking I put it somewhere else knowing I didn't. I called my boyfriend like crazy. No answer. I didn't even sleep last night as I was panicking. Then this morning he finally calls me back. I'm yelling at him about my money and he's acting all confused and like I'm crazy. He comes over and I'm still angry. Then after a while he finally admits he took it so he can borrow, and that he'll pay me back. Where the heck is he gonna get $14,000 from in 2 weeks? I went into a rage and called the police and reported a theft, because that is what he did. Well, it's been hours now, and I guess he got his phone call because his family has been blowing my phone up, and his mother has said some really hurtful and racist things to me. They've been harassing me for the past 6 hours now and it's stressing me out even more. And I hate that I'm feeling bad for him, but he stole my money that I've been saving for months. His brother did call, and he was respectful and said they'll help him pay it back, and I should just go to the police station with him and tell them I want to drop the charges. But I really don't believe them. I could do that and never get my money back still. I don't know what to do, and I hate that I'm contemplating doing this. I'm just really angry and have been crying all freaking day. Now for the top comments before reading the update. Do not drop the charges. 14K is a huge amount of money. His family are lying. They are not going to pay you back. Your boyfriend's first response was to lie. He only admitted the theft afterwards. They will take off and run, and you'll never see him or any of them ever again. Why would you drop the charges? He stole from you. He deserves to go to prison. Also, if you do drop the charges, it's possible that any insurance you have will be nullified. You might be able to borrow money from somewhere, but they would need to see evidence of your ability to save money, and you'll need the police report number as part of this application. If his family are banging on about paying the money back, tell them that they can sell one of their cars as soon as able and pay you back, as courts usually charge interest on money judgments. Not the idiot. You factually and accurately reported what occurred and why you're now out a full $14,000 2 weeks before you planned to use it to pay tuition. Your better-be-freaking ex-boyfriend was arrested because of what he did, not you. Stop speaking to his family on the phone and or in person, texts or emails only. You're going to have to recoup this money somehow, and your loss is likely too large for a small claims court. Limits vary by jurisdiction. Common reference point is $10,000. Unless he's sitting on the $14,000 in cash, there's a decent chance you will have to go to court to get it back. Depending on where you are in the laws there, his family's repeated promises to cover the loss may be evidence that can be used to pursue them in civil court to cover the loss, as whatever he spent it on likely isn't worth $14,000 anymore. You're well within the territory where you should be talking to an attorney. Not wrong. OP, as a criminal defense attorney, do not drop the charges. The court can order him to pay restitution, forcing him to give it back. Block his entire family and let the DA know they are harassing you. Very sorry that happened to you. You could tell them you'll drop the charges as soon as you get your $14,000 back. And then don't drop the charges. Just block them all and move on. And take out a restraining order against him and any member of his family who has called, emailed, or texted you about this matter. Do not drop the charges. He stole from you and you have no guarantee that the money will come back. If his family really want to help, they will pay the money back to you so they can tell the judge he has made restitution for a better sentence. The trust in this relationship has gone out the door and it is over. Block his family on your phone. You do not need their harassment. Before you do, if you have any messages from them, save them and ask the police for apprehended violence order to prevent them from mistreating and threatening you. This, OP, please pay attention to this. Also, I'm so sorry this happened to you. In addition to dealing with the police and stuff, reach out to the administration at your school and let them know what happened. Hopefully they'll be compassionate, and at the very least defer you tuition payment date so you can start classes, as planned, without paying late fees on your tuition. Who knows, maybe there are scholarship dollars or a bursary they can help you out with. Also, I am so incredibly proud of you. Working your way through school like that is not easy, and you did it. I've already made an appointment with my advisor and financial aid for Monday. I hope they don't drop my classes. Thank you for the kind words. It's been hard, but I know the end result, it'll be worth it. And now for the update. Hi everyone, sorry I kept you all hanging for a while, but it's been a long and annoying process. I want to thank all of you so much for all the advice. Someone suggested when I go to school to talk to my emergency dean, and I am so grateful for you. With the police report, I was able to get my school to pay for my semester. Again to that person, thank you, thank you, thank you. I started a week late, but a week late is better than not going. Sadly, the harassment continued and escalated, and due to what almost happened and all the text and calls, I was able to get a temporary restraining order on his mom, which she quickly violated, shaking my head. After a few weeks, I was able to get a little bit over $8,000 back of my money, and his brother did pay the remaining back to me. Don't worry everyone. We didn't meet, it was through a third party. Also, like most of you said, depending on the state you can't drop charges after the fact, so I couldn't do anything after the money was given back. At this point it's up to the court what happens. We haven't spoken, nor do I care to. I'm finally moving in a month, which is a huge stress reliever because they won't know where I live anymore. A police report helps with a lot of things and I got to break my lease, thank God. Also, won't keep my money home anymore. Thankfully, since this is my last semester, I won't have to work my bar jobs anymore, so no more money in my closet. I think that's all I have to update you all on. Again, thank you so much to all of you for your encouraging words and advice. It meant a lot and helped more than you can imagine. I'm so glad they were able to pay for the semester for you in the meantime. A week late is 100% better than nothing. I'm glad everything has been working out slowly. I wish this situation never happened in the first place, but you're such a strong person for handling all of this with such grace. Good luck with this final semester. You've got this. Hearing the update makes me very happy for you. If I had stolen money from you, then I would expect to be sitting right where he is. Keep on looking up, and pride yourself on knowing that after you finish this semester, you will graduate debt-free, and all paid by you and your hard work. That's something to be extremely proud of, since that's a rare thing these days. I have no doubt that with your work ethic, you will be successful. Congratulations on getting this part of your life behind you and moving on to a happy, safe, and successful life. Hey there, it's your boy Foxy, back for more relationship stories. Update: I, 29 male, caught my wife, 27 female, letting our male neighbor rub lotion on her pregnant stomach. Original post: this literally happened this morning. I'm posting it here and hoping to vent and maybe get some perspective, because I've been extremely upset all day and can't process this productively. My wife is 8 months pregnant with our child. We live next to another married couple who are in their late 30s. I don't like the guy. I've found him to be invasive and the weird type of friendly that almost seems to be prying and clingy. I'm not sure if that's clouding my judgment here, or if this validated my beliefs about him. I left for work, but decided on the way there that I just wasn't feeling it and called off. I stopped for breakfast before heading home to surprise my wife. 40 minutes tops. I get home, enter from the back door, and there's my wife and my neighbor sitting in our living room on the couch. She's turned toward him, fully clothed, but with her shirt pulled up over her very pregnant stomach, while he, facing her, is rubbing lotion on her stomach with both hands. They both froze before my wife asked how come I was back, and then said neighbor stopped by to borrow the toolbox while I was moisturizing, and wanted to know if he could feel the baby, so I said okay. I told him to get out before I put him out, and he left immediately. I tried to stay calm and talk to her and get the whole story. Neighbor's wife is apparently infertile, which is the first time I heard of it, which is amazing considering the guy never shuts up about his personal woes, and that he wanted to feel the baby. That's her story, and she's sticking to it. That's not good enough for me. My thought process is that there's a big freaking difference between feeling a baby for 10 seconds and coming into our home and rubbing lotion on my wife's stomach. If it was some close friend of ours, I might understand. But I dislike the guy, and my wife has never expressed any sort of closeness to him aside from passing pleasantries, and she's not the type to let anyone she isn't close to put their hands on her. So, in the span of a day, the guy goes from being a distant acquaintance of hers at best, to her deciding to invite him in and let him rub her. I also find it convenient that he showed up that early, right after I went to work, very shortly after his own wife also left for work. And he's never came over asking to borrow anything of mine before, yet 9:30-ish in the morning, and he urgently needs a toolbox. I don't believe my wife, and this is the first time my trust in her hasn't been strong enough. I don't believe her story because it makes no sense. When I told her I'd be mentioning this to his wife, she was adamant I don't, as not to make more of it than it is. If it was innocent, what more is there to make? And even if nothing more is going on, I'm not okay with what I just seen. I'm not okay with him rubbing my unborn child in my home without me there. I know it's her body and her choice, but I'm not okay with this. It would be one thing to feel the baby kick, but he was sitting reclined, comfortably on our sofa, rubbing lotion on her, with both leaned into their private conversation. I'm trying really hard to figure out how to express the fact I don't believe her story without causing stress that it'd be dangerous for her or our baby. I don't want to pick a fight with her at this stage of her pregnancy, but at the same time, my mind is spinning and I'm not cool with what happened. Any advice would be appreciated. Now for the top advice before reading the first update. Worst case scenario is she's been cheating with him and it's his baby. Best case, she's naive and really thought having a stranger rub lotion on her stomach right after her husband left for work is okay. Weird, really weird. Edit, definitely tell the neighbor's wife. I'd want to know if I was infertile and my husband was rubbing lotion on another woman's pregnant belly while I was at work. I'm 7 months pregnant and married, and I'm telling you right now, no other man is going to touch my bare belly, especially rub lotion on it. It's too intimate, and I would feel like I'm betraying my husband. Plus, you are right, it's weird, really weird. 15 weeks pregnant here, and same, definitely same. Not pregnant, but a man with a big belly, and I too would think it would be weird if my neighbor's husband rubbed lotion on my belly. You need to find out by the other wife what the husband was repairing with your toolbox. Probably BS. Possibly this isn't in the US, but people usually borrow a specific tool, not a toolbox. This is exactly what jumped out at me. Borrow the toolbox sounds like a very made-up thing by a woman that doesn't mess with tools. No one needs to borrow a toolbox. They have a specific task they need a specific tool for. Toolbox is BS story, but he should divorce her if she's lending his tools behind his back. You never touch a man's tools. That's a cardinal sin. As this is relationship advice, we're obligated to inform you that paternity testing can now be done prenatally. That's right, you can get a paternity test done at as early as 8 weeks gestation, using only blood from your wife. It's called the NIPP, or non-invasive prenatal paternity test. You're welcome. Also, communication, counseling, blah blah blah. Good luck. Only her reaction to a paternity test can tell a lot about what's going on, so I second this comment. Now for the first update. I'm only posting this update due to the amount of support I've gotten, as well as the numerous requests to do so. I didn't expect the response I got, and I've unfortunately seen it referenced on other subs, so I'm choosing to confront it. Most of you were right. Congratulations. I read through all of your replies and spoke to friends and stewed for a day. My wife stuck to her story, apologized for making me uncomfortable, and assured me it wouldn't happen again. The guy even decided to leave a handwritten note in the mailbox specifically apologizing as well. I still didn't feel better, and the consensus was that I should speak to my neighbor's wife, who were going to call Sally, so that's what I did. I watched my neighbor leave for work, then called my mother-in-law to come take my wife for a lunch and a girl's date so she could get out of the house. I left as usual for work, called off again, and went to stay with a friend. Got a text from my wife around noon telling me she was with mother-in-law and would be back by dinner. Went back home and knocked on Sally's door. The guy decided to tell Sally I kicked him out and caused a scene about not wanting either of them speaking to us anymore because I was angry about him helping my wife. Come to find out, both Sally and him have been going over to my house while I was away busy for the past few weeks, as my wife had approached her and asked if they would be willing to lend a hand with chores she could no longer do alone. Sometimes Sally went over and did small tasks, or just hung out, sometimes both, sometimes just the guy. Wife told her I knew and was fine with it, and that's why she was confused when her husband told her his BS about me being mad. She showed me where she texted my wife, has her number not mine, to clarify and ask if she was welcome over, and my wife hasn't replied, and since I don't often see Sally or socialize with them, she just assumed her husband was telling the truth. She also admitted that she noticed her husband and my wife becoming fast friends and figured it was due to the pregnancy, but thought it was his way of dealing with their own inability to have kids, so she wrote it off. I told her what I walked in on. I told her about the tools, which ended up being BS too. Came to the same conclusions. Both cried. Both hugged for the first time. Both took turns denying and accepting and talking each other down. Took a walk around the block together and conspired. She planned to call her husband at work and say that my wife messaged her, confessing to the two of them having an affair and seeing what happened. Went back to my friends, started having major panic attacks thinking I messed up, that I was about to ruin my marriage, worrying I might be wrong. A bit later, and I get a call from my wife screaming at me to find a way to leave work and come home. So I go home. The guy called her telling her what Sally told him. She told me I was crazy, I was a piece of trash, that she was considering leaving me, everything. Having a panic attack thinking I just ruined my entire life over nothing, while also trying to calm her down for the baby's sake, I impulsively told her that if she was leaving, I'd still be requesting a DNA test. And that's when it all came down. Entire tone changed, pleading, begging, apologizing, hyperventilating, holding me, asking me how I found out while denying anything happened. I told her it would be okay, and asked if she'd talk to me if we went for a drive. She agreed, took us to a parking lot and we talked. Told her if there was any chance of anything happening, she needed to tell me what was happening, because I already knew a lot. She had slept with him a handful of times before she was pregnant, and our baby might not be ours. He had been coming by and doing daddy duties once in a blue moon, in case it's his, and said they haven't slept together in months. She said we could move away, that it's ours no matter what, and that he had manipulated her. Admitted she lied to Sally to justify him going over for daddy duties. I asked her if she could stay with mother-in-law for a few days while I calmed down. She agreed, took her home, packed up some stuff and dropped her off. I've cleaned out my essentials and I'm in a friend's basement. Friend called her on my behalf and told her that if the baby is mine, I'll be dealing with it. If it isn't, it's on her, but either way I'll be filing for divorce. My friends took my phone from me and deleted my social media. She's been calling my friends and friends told her to get lost. I spoke to my boss and he's been very understanding. Last I heard from Sally, her husband hadn't been home and stopped responding to her calls and texts. I have nothing left. In less than a week, my life has fallen apart. The only thing keeping me here is the small chance that the baby is mine. I have nothing else. I woke up today disappointed I woke up at all. I've never felt this alone. I haven't accepted any of it yet, and I'm praying for the first time in my life that I can stop feeling this way and find strength. More advice before reading the final update. I have nothing else. Respectfully, sir, I disagree. Here's what you have. I spoke to my boss and he's been very understanding. I don't know where you work, but where I come from, most bosses would tell me to man up and leave that crap at the door. Not everyone has an understanding boss like that man. You've got a treasure, learn to value it. I'm in a friend's basement. Friend called her on my behalf. You've got a great friend who would share his or her home with you just because. I can guarantee you that not everyone is like that. Also, the friend called her on your behalf. Not many friends would want to get involved in that kind of drama. Friend's an absolutely solid person. My friends took my phone from me and deleted my social media. She's been calling my friends. Friends told her to get lost. Now you have a small army. It might be small, but it's certainly made up of loyal elites, of friends to help you through this process. Not everyone can say the same. So bro, you aren't alone. You don't have nothing. You still have your job. A job with an understanding boss. A good friend. Friends who take your side. You have everything a man could ever want. So chin up my guy and go grab that bull by its horns. Life may look like a black hole right now, but it is always darkest right before the dawn. You know what else OP has? The freaking moral high ground. The knowledge that whatever is going on, it's not anything that he did wrong or didn't do. He got screwed over by other people, but can hold his head high. It was incredibly brave of you to confront this, and very kind to let us know. One day at a time, dude, one day at a time. Next up, prenatal paternity test. But wow, I don't see this marriage surviving even if it's yours. Hugs. If you see this OP, focus on yourself going forward. One tiny silver lining is that your wife showed her true colors before you are decades into a family that might not have even been yours. There's lots of grieving to do with all this loss, but know you'll be a better person for having the chance to start a real family with someone who you can trust. Good luck, man. The marriage should not survive. It's toxic. I'm usually all for working things out between a married couple. I hate divorce and think it's the easy, lazy option most of the time. But if your wife is pregnant and doesn't know whose baby it is allowing her husband to get excited, tell his family and friends, get his head wrapped around being a dad, and it's all a lie. Zero chance this woman should be trusted. This isn't small stuff. This is a new life. Now for the final update. Don't know if anyone will remember my original posts, but I'm still getting messages on a regular basis for an update, so this is the final one. Extremely long story made slightly less long. A week after my last update, my soon-to-be ex-wife had our child, which I was at the hospital for, and am the father. The first few weeks after my last update were extremely difficult, with family and friends on both sides adding to the drama. Thankfully, I've had an overwhelming amount of support from not only from the vast majority of people I know in my personal life, but from all of you as well. My wife and I agreed to sit down and discuss things after she was discharged, in my friend's basement and with my friend upstairs in case I needed the support. She came over and we basically said everything we needed to say. I exploded and said a lot of mean things, most of which I regret, some I don't. She spent the whole time apologizing and begging me to take her back and give our family a chance to survive everything that happened. Went on for about an hour like this until I accepted that there was nothing left to say and I have zero romantic love for her anymore, and she accepted that we need to focus on our daughter above all else. We're agreeing to figure out a custody split amicably and to eventually co-parent more actively together when wounds heal. But our marriage is over. She has the potential to be a wonderful mother, but she failed me as a wife, and my sole focus right now is how to get myself mentally to where I need to be the best father possible. We plan to eventually sell the home, but right now I'm staying in an apartment. Sally is leaving her husband too. He's apparently staying with his mother and still refused to speak to Sally directly. According to her, the last thing that was passed along to her is that he understands what he did, he's sorry he hurt her, he loves her, and won't contest a divorce. She's struggling to handle everything and lacks a support system, so we're developing a friendship. Mostly two wounded people leaning on each other, and I'm doing my best. She plans to start therapy too. And no, I don't plan to be anything more than platonic friends with Sally. Lovely woman, but no. I still haven't fully processed my new role as a parent. I think mentally I already convinced myself my child wouldn't be mine in case it ended up that way. I plan to take classes and spend more time with my daughter doing early bonding. I'm terrified but very happy. I know there's a lot left to do and a lot of hurting left to go through. But I'm stable and a dad. That's what matters most. There's something about the audacity of cheaters parading their affair partners in front of their spouses or partners that is so much more anger-inducing than your usually clandestine affair. I'm not sure why. My brother's soon-to-be ex-wife had an affair with a guy who was my brother's then best friend. 1. Apparently she'd always had a crush on affair partner. Then why date my brother, marry him, and have kids with him? 2. Evil sister-in-law and affair partner conducted much of this affair at my brother's and hers at the time apartment, under the lie that she was taking care of affair partner after he had a procedure done, and while affair partner's wife was at work. Plus, there's the horrifying nature of them to conduct it in a small apartment that always had my young nieces present. 3. Extra creepy detail. Evil sister-in-law was the maid of honor for affair partner's wife in their wedding, only a few months before crazy sister-in-law admitted to the affair. Oh, and affair partner's wife was the maid of honor at my brother and evil sister-in-law's wedding as well. Bonkers. 4. Evil sister-in-law soon got pregnant with affair partner's kid, and now lives with him and his wife, and their combined 3 children. I actually don't feel bad for affair partner's wife because she apparently only became close friends again with ex-sister-in-law for free childcare. I kinda think she was aware of the whole affair and approved of it. I think they might be polygamous, but lacking any sense of healthy boundaries or care for other people. It's an infuriating situation that almost ended my brother. He didn't sleep for over a month. I constantly worried that he'd die in a car crash or workplace accident. My poor nieces, years on, don't always cope well with the implosion of their birth family. Divorce has dragged on for 2.5 years. There are other bonkers details, but I'm running on. Anyway, it took a long time to not want to scream at her when I saw her. I still get that impulse sometimes. Dear potential cheaters, can you at least avoid your spouse's siblings, parents, friends, neighbors, coworkers, and so on? Love the people who have to pick up the pieces in the wake of deceitfulness and betrayal. My cousin ended himself when he found out his wife and lifelong best friend had been having an affair almost their entire marriage. I still wonder if their 2 kids are his, but I don't speak to that side of the family. They'd lie anyway. What a mess. I'm glad OP stood his ground. Boundaries are important, and so is respect. I almost wished it wasn't his child so he can get a clean break. Must have been very difficult to still proceed with the divorce knowing you have a newborn to raise together. Same here. It's almost unfair for OP. On the flip side though, neighbor has been technically rubbing OP's child in his ex-wife's belly all this time. Creepy in hindsight.